get started. It's 3 o'clock, so I want to make sure we're respectful of your time. Appreciate you taking the time to be with us this afternoon. This is the second webinar that we've done today. We did one earlier this morning and went over pretty well. It's going to take us probably 30, 40 minutes maybe to get through Danny's slides. And then we want to make sure there's plenty of time to answer any questions that you might have. So the HMH7, which this presentation is all about, it is a modulating heat pump. When you look at it, you're thinking, man, that's a ductless unit. It definitely has the footprint and the sound level of a mini split, but it is matching up with our regular York air handlers, a lot of the same ones you're using every single day. So we're excited about that. It's going to get between 17 and 18 SEER on all sizes, and it's full sizes only. So it's 2, 3, 4, and 5. But up to 17, 18 SEER even on the 5-ton. So efficiency-wise, it's got a really great place in our offering, and I think from a price point level, it fits in very nicely as well. So I'll talk a little bit more about the sales aspect when Danny gets done and as we kind of close down. But I want to make sure that everybody's comfortable from an install perspective and a technical perspective, and Danny should be able to help that. But as you get out there, you start selling some of these, and when you're talking with your team, make sure they realize that this is a big priority for us. So we want to make sure that we represent y'all very well with this product. We want to make sure you've got the support that you need. So along the way, if you got questions or thoughts or concerns about install or serviceability, make sure you communicate to our tech team because this, like I said, this is a top priority for us. We want to make sure that you're comfortable with it. So with that, Danny, I'll let you take it.
All right, sir. We are very excited about this unit. As you can see, the footprint on this thing is very similar to what you've seen in the mini split line. And we'll just kind of jump into this. I know that we're not going to cover everything that you need today, but we will be kind of moving across the footprint and holding classes that'll get into the unit quite a bit deeper as far as service and some more installation things, but we're going to get you a basic of where to go and how to sell this unit. Every unit you're going to see that we've got twin rotary compressors, our twin rotary compressor in the unit, and also the tabular data, which is what we're looking at, is going to have the unit charge on the third from the bottom down there, telling you that the 2-ton has 4 pounds 7 ounces and the 5-ton has 8 pounds 9 ounces. This charge is going to be good for 15 foot of line set, the outdoor unit, and the matching indoor unit. If you go over 15 foot on the next line there, it'll tell you how much to add per foot, 0.38 ounce on the 2 and the 3-ton, and 0.60 ounces on the 4 and the 5-ton. You notice that the 5-ton is pretty heavy at 251 pounds. It's a stout unit. It's built well. Kind of going over the footprint there, very similar to what you've seen in your mini splits. It looks very, very similar. The line sets are going to be 3/8 and 5/8 on the 2-ton, 3/8 3/4 on the 3-ton, 3/8 and 7/8 on the 4 and the 5-ton. This slide I kind of put in here just to make sure everybody understood just how quiet this unit is. On the next to the second to the end over there, dBA is the decibel rating of the unit. The 2-ton is rated at 65 decibels and the 5-ton is rated at 73. This is right down there near library noise. So the noise level in this unit is very quiet, and those ratings are at 100% capacity. These things can range from anywhere from 25% up to 110% of capacity. Looking at the components that are in the unit, the HMH7 features a 208 230 volt 3-phase DC inverter driven twin rotary compressor. The modulation range is from 25% to 110%. The twin rotary inverter compressor design reduces friction during operation for smoother rotation, less vibration, resulting in quieter operation, and also in longer life expectancy on that compressor. On the 2-ton and the 3-ton, you will find that the unit has 2 boards on it, a drive board and a display board. On the 4 and the 5-ton units, you're going to find 3 boards in there. One is a drive board, one is a display board, and the other will be a filter board to take out any noise that the electrical current will generate and make sure you don't get any interference with the operation of the unit or the displays on the control board. Three sensors on the unit. You have a discharge line temperature sensor, a coil temperature sensor, and an outdoor temperature sensor. They're all easy to get to, and they're all 15K ohms at 32 degrees. Just giving you a little resistance chart to show you that at 32 degrees, you got 15K ohms. You'll actually find a full chart in the installation instructions and also on the field reference guides that are accessible through Navigator. And if your technicians don't have access to Navigator, you should get with your TM to make sure everybody has access to Navigator for a lot of different reasons. One is for the field reference guides, and also so they can get on there and do some training on their own and look at not only this unit, but most every unit we have and do some training on. The units also come with a reactor coil. This is there strictly as a to reduce the inrush current, reduce the harmonic waves, and improve the power factor on the unit. And it is called a reactor. It looks very similar to a transformer, but you only have 2 wires going to it. The reversing valve on the unit energizes in the heat mode, which is quite different than what York does on most anything else. On those, they use the O terminal, energize, whereas on this, there's a B terminal on the outdoor unit to energize in the heat mode. You have an electronic expansion valve on the outdoor unit. This is to modulate or meter the refrigerant in the heat mode. There is a check valve bypass around the EEV for the cooling mode. And on the indoor coil, we're going to use a standard TXV that's located inside. So it's not like a mini split, don't have that expansion valve outside for the cooling. This has it inside. You got the fan motor. The fan motor comes with a heavy duty plastic blade on it. And just looking at it, I just don't see any way that thing can really get messed up. It is put on there with a nut on the end. That nut is reverse thread, so if you ever have to get that fan blade off, make sure it goes the opposite direction of what you're used to. The fan motor is right behind it, and that is a DC ECM motor that operates in parallel with the modulated speed of the compressor plus the input of the outdoor temperature sensor. So it's going to modulate and control the temperature of that coil and the temperature of the refrigerant. This whole unit is designed to try and maintain a 20-degree split on your indoor coil. And it's going to modulate to handle that depending on the airflow, the capacity load on the unit. Is there any questions that anybody has up to this point? Corey, this is a quiet bunch.
It is. It may be like an afternoon nap.
Yeah, well, you know, I can put my own self to sleep sometimes. All the HMH7s come with a crankcase heater already installed. Crankcase heater won't get much usage in the territory that I cover because the crankcase heater is only energized when the compressor is off and the outdoor temperature is below 23 degrees. So down here in Alabama, especially lower Alabama, we don't see 23 degrees. Up in Tennessee, y'all will see it a little bit, but the crankcase heater is there. In the bottom base pan of the section where the fan motor is, you have a base pan heater. Now, this base pan heater will only energize when the temperature outside drops below 32 degrees. That's to make sure that condensate in the defrost cycle doesn't drop to the bottom, freeze, and block the coil or impede the fan motor blade. To match these up with the indoor units that York makes, we're going to be matching them with the AE air handlers, which has got the standard ECM motor, or what we've generally come to used to calling an air motor. We have a blower kits for that one, and we also have these 002, which is matched up with the AVC air handler with the full variable speed motor in it. These two kits are designed to match these units with the two air handlers. The kit will come with a 001. It comes with a glass relay. That will soon change to a board instead of just a relay. And they're going to put the relay on the board. But right now, the ones we have in have the glass relay, the wiring harness, and you will have your filter dryer will come in this kit. The filter dryer should be installed on the liquid line close to the indoor air handler. This is a difference from other York units where they always put the dryer in the unit for you. This one you will need to install at the indoor unit. For the variable speed ECM motor, you're going to get a board. The board will have two relays on it. You will get your wiring harness and also the filter dryer. The filter dryer needs to go again at the indoor unit. Looking at this, it uses two relays. One relay is to control the O output because the air handler needs an O input for the cooling fan. So one relay is strictly to do that on the ECM air handler, and the other relay controls the fan speed. And it is controlled by the S1 terminal off the outdoor unit. The S1 terminal is going to determine by the load and by the return air load and what the supply air temperature, what the fan motor needs to be running at. This is the wiring diagram that's out of the installation instructions. We have put together a quick reference that we are going to be sending out with every unit that's purchased. The quick reference will have a color-coded wiring diagram for you and for the installer so that it makes it a little bit easier. And they don't have to sit there and look at these black lines and try and read stuff and make sure what they're doing. It's going to be color-coded for them so that they can hook up their wires much easier than what this diagram does for them. This is what is in the installation instructions that will come with the unit and also with the kit. This is the 001, which is for the standard ECM or X13 motor, and you'll notice that it only has one relay that controls the fan speed off of the S1 terminal. The 002 kit has the two relays, as you see here in this diagram. And like I say, in the quick reference, it'll be all the wires will be color coded for them to make it a lot easier than what this one does. But this is in your installation instructions, and the two relays, the one on the right controls the O signal going to the indoor board, which is the relay is controlled by the B terminal off the thermostat going to the outdoor unit on the B terminal. The other relay on the left, it controls the fan speed, and it is controlled by the S1 terminal on the outdoor unit. Any questions to this point?
Danny, I was just going to chime in and let everybody know that there is two different kit options depending on like the blower, but that's not something that you necessarily have to worry about ordering the right kit. We've got notes in our system, and our teams are trained now to pair the right one up with the right blower. So just didn't want you to feel like you're going to have to memorize a kit number. That's our job.
That's correct. Going to the installation of this unit and talking about clearances, and these clearances will also be in the installation instructions as well as in the quick reference that we're sending out with the units. You'll notice that on the left-hand side of the unit, you can get 6 inches of clearance. On the back of the unit going up against the resonance, you can get 8 inches of clearance. And then on the service side where the electrical and the tubing comes in, you need 36 inches of clearance. On the front of the unit, you need 20 inches of clearance. Never take one unit and blow into another unit though. That inline installation is not allowed. You can go beside it, but not directly in front of the discharge air. On the line set limitations are on the 2-ton, you can go up to 164 feet. On the 3, the 4, and the 5, you can go as far as 246 feet. The maximum height difference is 98 feet. Again, it talks about the additional charge that's there. Also, if the indoor unit is below the outdoor unit, every 16 feet of rise, you need to put an oil trap. And you need to slope the line toward the outdoor unit or toward the trap. If you go over 100 feet, we do recommend that you contact one of the techs, and let's talk about the line set and what additional things, because we will need to do a couple other things. The main thing is going to be putting a liquid line solenoid in the liquid line to keep refrigerant migration from happening. Up to 100 feet, you're good to go. As with most mini split units, you will need the 1/4 to 5/16 to 1/4 flare adapter to attach onto the unit so that you can hook up your gauges to it. Most everybody that's been putting in mini splits has gotten used to doing this. When you put the unit in, we do recommend you put some risers on the unit so that the bottom of that service valve is not close to the pad that you set the unit on, because there's not a lot of room down there, and some people have had a little bit of problem trying to get these on there when they've set them flat on a unit or on a slab or on a pad. If you put the risers up under there, it makes it a lot easier. Just to let you know, this unit has been in production and being used in the Atlanta market and also in the Northwest. And they have had great success with this unit. There's been very few problems, and those problems we've gotten straightened out before they're getting to you. So I think you're going to be really, really happy with this unit. System charge. At this time, the only way to charge the HMH7 is by weight. Okay, so you do need to measure your line set. You need to know exactly how much line set you have. If you're running 25 foot of line set, you know the unit's charged for 15, you got 10 foot of line set you got to count for. And on the 5-ton unit, you have to add 0.6 ounces per foot over 15. So that's 10 times 0.6 gives you 6 ounces of refrigerant that would need to be added to that unit. If for some reason you lose a charge or something, you will need to recharge the unit to full capacity, which is recover your refrigerant, pull a vacuum. I recommend a triple evacuation, and then weigh the charge in what the nameplate calls for plus the line set over 15 foot. They are working on doing some charts to make it where you can charge by superheating subcooling, but at this time, superheating subcooling is strictly a service tool to help you narrow down where your problem is, whether it's airflow, whether it's refrigerant charge, or whether it's a pumping issue. The unit has the display on it, which will give you the fault codes and also tell you what the unit's running at. There's lots of things that can be checked on it, but the biggest thing we're going to use that for is for error codes. The error codes are listed on the unit, and a real good description of those error codes is in the field reference guides on Navigator, which I do recommend everybody have access to Navigator. Not just for this unit, but for everything, because those service books come in handy when you're out on a job. I know my group uses them regularly. But the display is on the unit, and you can see there we got a fault code 13, which is compressor overheat protection. So if we went to the field reference guide, the field reference guides would take you step by step what to do to determine what you need to do to correct that problem. Is there any questions? Anything anybody got to say? Very quiet group, Corey.
Hey, Danny, this is JJ, Nashville.
Yes.
I was there the day we installed this one in the lab, and I remember the service valve, king valves, if you want to call them that. They are both of those are the same size, unlike our standard split system condensers. And I can't remember exactly what the millimeter was now that those valves are, but they are the same. I do remember that being a little bit different than just a standard condenser. I just want to point that out.
Okay.
Yeah, good feedback, JJ. And so we've got one of these installed in our Nashville training lab, and it's been there for, I guess, better part of a month, maybe a little bit longer. But very impressive unit, and I wasn't there for the whole install, but just going out and checking the condenser now, like Danny was saying, it's super quiet, looks very, very well built, and I think this will be a very successful unit. But now's a good time. If you have any questions, feel free. All right. Well, I'm going to just touch on the cell side just briefly. And if you do think of something on the technical side or install side, just hold that question, and we'll have one more period. If you want to ask it, you'll be able to. Let me see if I can share my screen. All right, so Danny was mentioning a quick reference guide. So this is something that Danny, along with our other FSRs in the company, they put this together. But a lot of this is very similar to what he just showed you. But here's the color coded wiring diagram there. So this will be a lot more helpful than what it comes with. So we have it set up in our system to where when you order one of these, it's going to prompt our counter to print off this quick reference and ship it with the unit. I'm not going to say we're perfect. There may be times where that could get overlooked, but just know this is something that is readily available. I've actually got it on the our M&A Supply mobile app too. So in the event that you got out to the job and did not have it, if you have the mobile app, and I recommend getting that for a variety of reasons, but you just search M&A Supply on your app store, then you just click on product info, heat pumps, and then you'll see a bunch of documents for this HMH7, and this will be one of them. So this, I tasked Danny and his team to, on 3 or 4 pages, let's make sure anything that a installer is going to need to know that's kind of outside of the norm that y'all are used to. I wanted it to be on this document. So I think they did a really good job. But, like I said, we're open to any feedback that you guys have once you install them. If there's something that we need to add or consider, we'll do that. So that covers the quick reference guide. The other thing I was going to show you, if I can get my computer to cooperate, is from the sales side, we feel like we have a pretty good launch in place. So this is for our Liberties Plus and CCE dealers, and I think most of you on the call are one of the two. But between now and the end of the year, you get a free 10-year comfort plan with this unit. And this is considered one of the premium type units from York. So the good thing about that is you get the labor, you get the parts markup, you get the drive time, but you also get a 10-year unit replacement for a failed compressor. And in addition to that, the compressor has a lifetime warranty. So it's a very strong warranty. And again, it's free for you between now and the end of this year. You still have to get on Navigator and submit for it on Navigator. The only difference is we were going to be zero billing you for it. So that's one pretty major perk there. And the other one is a homeowner rebate. So through this system, it's Ducted Systems Incentives. That's a JCI kind of a rebate type website. Homeowner, all they got to do is put in their information, upload your invoice to them that's got serial numbers on it. They got to input serial numbers and a little bit of information, but the end result is they get a $275 check straight from York. The beauty with that is you don't have to be involved other than just kind of prompting them what to do, and we're not involved. So this is between JCI, York, and the homeowner. So, both of those perks right there, that should give us some pretty good advantages out there in the market. Any questions on the sales side? All right. Has anybody thought of any technical or install type questions that you'd like to ask? Okay, so your price book should have these units in it. If you find out for some reason that they are not there, let your TM know. We'll make sure that we get you pricing. These condensers, we have every size in one of our barns. I mean, we've got them scattered pretty good right now, and inventory is very stout. So that's another perk right now, obviously. So you can be ready to go right now. We're ready to take care of your needs as we speak. So, let me know or let your TM know or regional sales manager know if there's anything that you need to help support your efforts. But we're excited to get going and look forward to seeing everybody's success with it. Appreciate the time today.
Thank you, guys.